What is your craziest dorm story? My roommate was this geeky 400-pound guy who watched Sailor Moon in the original Japanese. He had a tiny red-headed girlfriend who regularly beat the shit out of him in daily life, and he let her. On like 6 p.m. on a Thursday, he suddenly asks me if I can vacate the dorm room until 11, as they're going to have some romantic time. I was a little pissed he gave me no warning, but left anyways. Get back at midnight and walk into a scene of her in black vinyl bondage gear with a riding crop and a taxi driver's hat, riding him, with him covered in welts from head to toe. Noped the hell right out of there. Red-headed girlfriends, man. My freshman year I worked in addition to being in school. It was a Saturday night and I was scheduled to work very early the next morning, so I figured I'd shower that night so I could sleep a little bit later. I go into the showers on my floor, turn on the light, pull back the curtain, and I see every single guy on my floor standing together in the same shower stall. All of them completely clothed and standing in complete silence. Each of them had a red plastic cup filled with ping pong balls. As soon as they saw me, each of them screamed and ran like bloody hell out of there. I never knew what the hell that was about. A friend of mine tells a story about his freshman year in a dorm with a roommate. The roommate was heading off to class, and my friend was ready to enjoy some quality alone time with some specialist gentleman's literature. For some reason, he decided this session was going to occur completely nude. Having disrobed, sat at his desk, firing up the internet. There was the rustling of keys in the door. For some reason, the roommate was coming back into the room. Thinking unfathomably quickly, he grabbed the open can of Dr. Pepper on the desk and poured it all over his body. As the door opened, he said, "God damn it, I spilled this Dr. Pepper all over myself." Mental reflexes of cat. Wait. But then he's just naked with Dr. Pepper on his body? Like the roommate was gonna say, "Oh snap, you spilled Dr. Pepper on your naked body, now I totally understand why you are naked." My sister once had a guy fall through her roof. I was there that day. One time, during a snowstorm, a girl in my dorm lost a bet and had to run a lap around the outside of the dorm in a bikini. It had already snowed 4 or 5 inches and it was still snowing. Another time I was in my dorm and my roommate was home for the weekend. Around 4:30 or 5 a.m. I was still awake. I heard a scratching/squeaking sound on my door. I got up and opened the door, and there was a girl standing there leaning on the door frame. I said, "Can I help you?" She smiled and then ran down the hall. I just shrugged and went to bed. The next day I found out the peepholes, which were apparently very easy to unscrew from the outside from all the doors on my floor, were stolen, except mine. I was a freshman and not particularly used to what drunks are like, so I left my dorm room's door open while I was in case any neighbors wanted to pop by. One Friday night, some big guy who I didn't know strolls into my room, smelling like he was drenched in booze. He walks in a slow circle around the center of the room, bobbing his head and making unts, unts, unts noises as he goes, and then leaves without ever having acknowledged me. I stopped leaving my door open after that. We used to tell drunk people that wandered into our dorm they should go drink some water. They would respond, "That's a good idea," and walk down the hall while we shut the door on them. It worked great until someone kept knocking on our door to be let back in. When we didn't, he pulled the fire alarm to get us to come out. It worked, I guess. I was visiting a friend at another school for the first time. He and I were planning on smoking until we walked into his dorm room and saw a girl on his bed in labor. We were both speechless until his roommate came running back from the bathroom with a wet towel and said, "Don't freak out, don't freak out." The girl turned out to be the roommate's sister who lived nearby and was visiting. She went into labor a few weeks early, so everyone was thrown off guard. They eventually took an ambulance to the hospital, and once they were gone, we saw that she was sitting on my friend's bed when her water broke. We ended up cleaning up the mess for a while, then smoked like never before in order to get the image of a total stranger screaming her lungs out of our heads. And that's a wrap for today's Reddit stories. If you enjoyed the ride, hit subscribe for more. Comment on your favorite story, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Until then, stay safe.